Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Plotlines. I'm your host, Connor, and we're going to be discussing, is Prince Andrew getting his comeuppance? It seems like it's been a culmination of a lot of different events over the past couple of years, ever since he, uh, Jeffrey Epstein Epsteined himself. So we got that going. That's sort of that was the catalyst for all of this stuff happening. And Prince Andrew has been a naughty boy by all accounts, and it's just disgraceful for a member of the royal family. And I don't discuss celebrities. That's not what this is. This isn't a celebrity discussion. This is, this is looking at royalty and how they act, because royalty are supposed to be above these disgraces. They're supposed to live up to higher standards, and they're supposed to have higher standards, which we'll get into. But he does point out that in an interview that he should have had higher standards, but he had a long friendship with Jeffrey Epstein, and he is accused of uh, having sex with a girl when she was underage. There are images of them together, not just standing together, nothing more than that. But it's interesting to me how sort of the royal family has dealt with this. I think it was very slow going, dealing with this, when it was just when the queen, as she is his mother, I think had a hard time dealing with Prince Andrew's, flint, with his affairs and all that stuff. I mean, he's been divorced. It sounds like he's had a lot of girlfriends. Basically he's just been a very disgusting figure. And this is all sort of getting brought to the public surface, getting brought to the surface because of the Epstein stuff. Now, we have interesting enough. So we have a bunch of stuff going on. So a lot of documents will be coming out around the Epstein cases, so the Ghislaine Maxwell cases, over the next couple months. So look out for that. Now, it doesn't seem like Prince Andrew has any legal liabilities necessarily, unless the police were to go after him in some capacity, because he already settled a lawsuit between the woman and himself, and for $12 million. So basically he paid her $12 million, and gets away scot-free. And that's just, to me, that's a terrible price. It's fine for this woman, I guess it's good that she's getting some level of compensation, but it's basically prostitution at that point. So, you're just basically paying for sex instead of just, for instead of what it should be called. Anyways, so he's had a long history of problems. Now, his honors, or his royal titles, were removed by his mother, the queen, in, I think, 2019. He was kicked out of the Buckingham Palace office, so he didn't have an office, but he still lived there. And that's not that was a couple years ago. What's really recent is that he has been basically evicted from Buckingham Palace by King Charles. So King Charles seems to be willing to clean up the the sort of garbage of his household. You know, he's doesn't seem to be messing around. He's made it clear that the prince is no longer an active royal. He is on his own. So he can't it doesn't sound like he's going to be protected by being royalty and that sort of thing. So that's that's good overall. Him being, not in he's not he's lost basically dignity and that sort of thing. Now, it's kind of funny. The the what is it? Prince Harry and Prince Meghan also are coming into this story because they are getting evicted from their place, Frogmore. I think it's Frogmore. Yeah, Frogmore Cottage. So they're being evicted. Prince Andrew was evicted from Buckingham Palace, and now he's going to. The king is moving, seemingly, Prince Andrew into Frogmore, off to the side um, in a much smaller cottage, in a much smaller area, which I think is much better. I don't, obviously it would be best if Prince Andrew was tried for possible um crimes, and that, to me, that would be better, but the man can't, completely be taken out of society, or completely taken out of the family until he's tried. And I mean family, I just mean in the, he needs a place to stay. So I get that. I'm frustrated though that he's not being tried, and he should be in prison at this point. Now, another interesting aspect of the story is that there's going to be a movie being made about the interview he did, where he basically was asked about the scandal, where he basically said, "I regret being Epstein's friend. I, you know, I didn't uphold the values of the royal family," and basically his sob story. And then later in that interview, he then said, "Oh, I'm okay with what I did. I'm okay with my connection with Jeffrey Epstein." So it's he's obviously doesn't care. He thinks he's untouchable. He does what he's doing what he wants. The royals, in some ways, in England, because they don't have any authority, they also don't have any they don't have much to actually do. If they were ruling monarchs, I think it would be a completely different situation, because the, with ruling monarchs, the princes, the family members, have a lot more to do, but everything kind of fell on the queen. Not so, I mean, there were events, obviously, that were taken over by uh or her children, and but it's mostly like ribbon cuttings and that sort of thing, and speaking engagements. So that's not really that much. They don't have any real responsibility, but if they did, it would, there's a lot of royal families out there that have a much better reputation. So this isn't like a strike against monarchy or anything like that. I'm personally very much a fan of that, and that's why I think criticizing them and covering what's going on, hopefully, I would like the monarchy to recover and one day become a Catholic monarchy once again, and return all the churches and bring glorious victory back to England and that sort of thing. But I think we're far out from that. I know Michael Knowles is very much a big fan of sort of the Jacobites, and I'm with him on that. I'd love to see a Catholic monarchy um, in England. Now, I just want to show this photo. Let me see if I can pull it up. Also, I do think it's funny that Harry and Meghan are getting evicted as well. Just they're getting their comeuppance, I guess, as well, which is great. I'm very, very happy about that. It's I think it should have come sooner, but then again, it seems like the queen really didn't have it in her, obviously, in her final years, which just shows how terrible they were to her, with the fact that they just they did all of this stuff and didn't care, and nobody likes them. So here's the picture. This is what we're talking about. This is the scandalous relationship. We obviously have Ghislaine Maxwell. We have the woman, or well, not a woman. She's a girl. She's 17 at this time, and it's just, ugh, it's just terrible. We should have these people prosecuted. Prince Andrew, Bill Clinton. Um, I'm trying to think if anybody else has other names, big names, but there are just a ton of elites that have were friends with Epstein and were a part of this. That it's just disgraceful, and it just shows how demonic and corrupted our elites are. They've made a deal with the devil and they have gained power, but they have lost their souls. And that's yeah. And I love the quote from, what is it? Man for All Seasons, where Thomas More is talking to uh the Richard Rich, and he says uh to lose your soul for the whole, not to lose your to lose your soul for the world, but for Wales. you know Richard Rich basically lied under oath in order to get a position in as the Chancellor of Wales in the story. I don't know if that actually happened in real life, but the point is that that's like, this is what they're doing. They make these deals, they do these things for power, and it's just absolutely just terrible. Uh for all of you, please like, share, comment, and subscribe if you like what I'm doing here. Um if you have any questions, comments, that you want me to respond to, I'd love to hear from you guys. I my goal is to have Tuesdays and Thursdays be live streams, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. So if you're in the Eastern noon, that sort of thing. So just let you all know, we have a lot of stuff coming up. I got some books coming today in the mail, which will have a lot to do with some special interviews coming up. Really, it's going to be a busy couple of months at least for Plotlines, and my goal is video every day, episode every day. I'm a little behind for the podcast because live streams have to be down. I can't get them right away from YouTube, so I have to and then I have to download them and upload them and that sort of thing. So if you're listening on podcast apps, that's why some of these are behind. Also, if you're on podcast apps, please leave a 5-star review, write a review of the show. That would be great. But yeah, so Prince Charles, or sorry, King Charles is doing a much better job in this area, at least. So Andrew was barred from using his His Royal Highness, his HRH moniker, because when the Queen was still alive, she banned him from using that. And though he is still a Royal Knight of the Garter and a Knight Grand Cross of the Royal Victorian Order. So that uh, that is the status of the royals. So it's funny to me that Prince Andrew's going to be moving into basically Meghan and Harry's spot, and they're getting evicted completely, which is great because they basically have shunned the royal family and given up their entire family for Wales. So yeah, um, well, check back Plotlines tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll have an episode at 11. Sometimes it's a little later, just depends on how quick I'm able to get the video out. Because if it's since it's not a live stream, obviously a live stream always happens at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. So also please join the Discord. Link should be in the description. And also Telegram will be coming soon. Thank you all for watching.